So the problem is, if we don't have online election in 10, 15 years, kids will never go to vote for the next president, next prime minister, or what else. In election office, we will have not enough of volunteers to vote. It means if we don't have internet passports on time, that will be the end of democracy. That's it. Yes, Australia, yes. Including Australia.
It will be the end of democracy, you're saying?
Because the new generation kids will never go to vote for the next president, prime minister. They will not go physically because they need to go. For sure, they will want to have it online. If they don't have it online, they will never vote. And that will be their very bad news, because only old generation will vote. And there will be no voice, no power from the new generation. It will disconnect our generation and the new generation. It will be a huge conflict between generations. So, one of the problems, as I see it, is the fact that we need biometrical, digital, online passports. IDs. Digital IDs. So the second problem, as I understand it, social networks. Social networks, it's a very powerful tool to manipulate crowds, to change public opinion. And we saw it already in different countries, so it's Arab Spring, American Summer, Occupy Wall Street, British Autumn, Russian Winter. Who is next? Well, every country has some internal problems, some internal conflicts. It's very easy to manipulate, to employ this conflict and manipulate people. It can be used against any country. Unfortunately, governments, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, that's good news. But if I'm right, the bad news is that governments don't really understand. Maybe, well, that's for sure, that some powers already started to use manipulation, this kind of manipulation through social networks. They don't recognize that exactly the same thing can happen in their own country. Their enemies will strike back in exactly the same way. And the third problem, it's cyber wars, cyber weapons. And I'm going to talk about cyber weapons a little bit more in my presentation. So, the first slide is quite simple. Everything is online. Knowledge, well, Wikipedia. How many people still open paper printed encyclopedias?
Librarian.
1, 2. How many people in this room don't use online encyclopedias? Everything is online. This is a list of everything. I forgot to add. I think that we need to add kids. Kids are also online. The new generation, what I was talking about. The bad news is that industrial systems, unfortunately, many of them, they are also online. Recently, I don't remember who did it, someone made a survey research about Siemens PLCs, which are connected to internet. And that person made a map of United States with PLCs which are connected to the internet, which technically it's possible to hijack them. Technically it's possible to do anything they are connected to. They said in some of American prison, technically it's possible to open bars by online hack. I'm afraid it's not just about it. It looks like a joke, but that's reality. In many other systems which are online, they're responsible for the much more serious environment, not just prisons. So everything is online, and unfortunately, you know that what is online is under the control of hackers. They won't use that. They want to take the data. They want money, or they want information. And the main source, the main threats, still the cyber criminals. I think that still there are 99% of all malware and all attacks, if we are not talking about hacker attacks from anonymous groups, it's a cyber criminals. The motivation is money. We don't have any idea how much money they earn, but it's possible to estimate the damage on the global economy. That will be more than $100 billion a year. Our competitors made similar survey, they said $1 trillion. So the damage to global economy is somewhere between $100 billion a year to $1 trillion a year. If you remember the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, they said it's about $300 billion lost for Japan. So every year we have one or couple of tsunamis, Japan-sized tsunamis in the internet globally. It's a very big damage, but unfortunately, many people don't recognize that. And in the past, it wasn't recognized even by governments. Cybercrime is huge, very effective, a lot of damage, but it's kind of, it's like radiation. You don't feel it. Customers, they don't report in most of the cases that they were infected. Enterprises, banks, they don't report it as well because they don't want to ruin their reputation, the enterprise reputation. So everyone knows it's there. Everyone knows it's big, but it's kind of like radiation. How to fight with cyber criminals? Good news is that finally governments started to cooperate. They started to talk about this, and I was really proud in London. There was a conference of cyberspace conference in London in November last year. There were ministers, presidents, vice presidents talking about cybercrime. I was really proud. They used almost my words. They used my definitions, which I did for years, explaining cybercrime, international cooperation, etc., etc. Good news is that it seems that in a few years from now, governments will have their own, they take more responsibility for cybercrime issues, and there will be much better control on their, on the population of cyber criminals. Such organization as United Nations, ITU, hello. They have their own division to fight with cybercrime, so-called impact, capital letters. And if you want to learn more about this organization and what they're doing, so please. Interpol. 2014, Interpol is going to open the office in Singapore. This office will be a division of Interpol. It will be Internet Interpol, responsible for the international investigations. So it's coming. European Union? Alex?
Council of Europe, not European Union.
Okay.
We are the good guys.
So, governments, international treaties are here, and they are very, very serious about cybercrime and how to fight with that. That's very good news. But cybercrime is not just the only issue. Hacktivism, you know, last year it's like it was a very big boom of hacktivism. Anonymous groups, there, LulzSec, and some others. You know, there are how many enterprises were attacked? Who knows? How many enterprises were not attacked?
Well, now we research 2%, and we probably just didn't realize it.
Yes.
98% of companies last year claimed in our Kaspersky study they have been attacked.
So do you have this data? Alex, do you have this data and later maybe in your presentation? Do you So I don't know this number, so
Near 200.
call this man if you have more data. There are two very bad things with hacktivism. It's not just simple boys. First of all, to me it's no difference between hacktivists which ruin internet environment and crowds of hooligans which ruin physical streets. People which are protesting against something, which go to streets and they break windows, they fire cars or what else. There is no difference with hacktivists. It's simply they do exactly the same things but in a different environment, in a real life or in the internet environment. And as a result, it's a big damage to the cities, big damage to the economy, and at the same time in the internet, it's a big damage to services, it's a big damage to economy. And well, sometimes they steal data and they publish data which is dangerous, which can affect people or organizations which are not responsible. They steal and disclose. Sometimes it's very dangerous. And second, I'm afraid that these guys, activists, some of them they are professional hackers. They have enough of experience and knowledge. I'm afraid some of them they will be in the future under the control of terrorists, which will employ them to design terrorist attacks. Why not? But in most of cases, when hacktivists are looking for the information, it's not possible to recognize are they hacktivists or maybe secret services, because they are looking for some data. I'm sorry to China, this is a Chinese base there, but I'm afraid that in many attacks really came from China. The attacks which we call espionage. In many cases, maybe in most of cases, it's not possible to realize who was behind the attack. Hacktivists just to steal and use this data. Maybe criminals, which were looking for financial data, for credit cards, for login passwords to financial services. Or maybe governments. I'm afraid we are in the era of the new type of espionage. Cyber espionage. And I'm afraid it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Of course, secret services, they don't report us. And they don't report you, and they're not going to disclose what's going on. They never did it. And they never will do that. But I'm pretty sure many attacks, they have governments behind these attacks. That's a new reality. Well, technical espionage is not news. It was all the time. When I was studying cryptology 30 years ago, there was time of IT espionage, even those times. But now it's getting a very, very big issue. And the fourth and the last one, cyber warfare, cyber terrorism or cyber sabotage. Because it's, sometimes it's not possible to define it in the right way. From one side, it's a cyber weapon and cyber attack. From other side, from the victim, it's a cyber terrorism. So that depends who is attacking and from which side we are watching the attack, the different definitions. But it's about the same. It's attacking the critical infrastructure, transportation, power grids, industrial systems, which sometimes are online. And I'm afraid this is the very and the most important problem we face at the moment. There's just one incident which was confirmed as a sabotage, internet sabotage at Stuxnet, but maybe it was not the first and maybe not the only case when malware was used to attack industrial environment. There were some rumors Actually, we don't have any data to confirm that. There's some rumors about blackouts in Brazil. A couple of years ago, there was some rumors that a couple of cities in Brazil, they had blackout because of hackers attack, and later there were blackmails. They were asking for money, not to do it again. Actually, if it's true, that's example of cyberterrorism. But unfortunately, we don't have any data to confirm these attacks or not to confirm it. So, we are living in a very dangerous world. IT systems, they are everywhere. My favorite example is when you get to the elevator, you press the button. Which elevator comes first? Who decides? The local man from the hotel watching the buttons? No, of course not. There's a little computer there. Maybe Siemens PLC, maybe similar. I'm pretty sure it's not connected to the internet. And I'm pretty sure it's quite safe, because there's no need to upgrade software. The same elevators, same maximum number of rests here, so it's the same environment. So there's no need to upgrade software. So I'm pretty sure this machine is not connected to computer, and it's not connected to the internet. But in many cases, when we have a very complicated environment, like power plants, transportation, which is upgraded year by year, or maybe day by day, nuclear power plants, sometimes scientists, they make some experiments there. So there is a need to upgrade the software. So in a very complicated systems, these industrial computers, the PLCs, sometimes they are connected to real computers. Maybe they are all the time connected to computers. And there is a new software from USBs, well, I don't really know. But there is a way how to download, install, and use new software on these machines. It means this is the way how the malware, how the attack can get to the victim. And I'm afraid the Stuxnet scenario can be reality, it can be used in almost every complicated industrial system. Industrial system, power plants, transportation, what else? Everything. Everything is managed by computers. So I'm afraid this is the worst news. And I'm really scared about different scenarios. For example, Stuxnet was designed in a very professional way. Stuxnet was able to recognize the victim. And there was only one report about damage. But imagine, when the malware is written in a not so professional way, malware has mistakes, and it's not able to recognize the victim. So random systems which look similar will be affected by this type of malware. Imagine that country A developed the malware to destroy or damage power plant in country B. But the result of infection, the random power plants around the globe, which use similar systems. Because I don't think that every power plant is unique. I'm pretty sure they use very similar systems. They designed in a more or less standard way. Imagine that because of this attack, country A attacks country B, but everywhere around the globe, similar systems are damaged. My stories, they are second worst and second scary after Hollywood movies. But unfortunately, I believe that will be reality. The good news is that governments started to recognize that. I think that the United States is a country with the most powerful PR teams, PR divisions in government sector. So there are a lot of news coming from the United States, because in many cases the United States are first to announce some news which is reality for many other countries. So these news are from the United States. The Minister of Defense of the United States said, well, he confirmed that it's very, very, very bad. He said that a successful hacker attack could paralyze the country. And that wasn't just him who said that. There were reports from CIA, from National Security Agency, from the United States. They said, in case of successful cyber attack, we could make only report. They understand that it's simple to develop cyber weapon, but it's not possible to protect against cyber attack. So technically it's possible to attack and it's not possible to defend. Unfortunately, it's a worse news. And I'm afraid that their major damage can be made, could be a reality for especially developed countries, because North America, Western Europe, Japan, South Korea, these countries depend on IT systems much more than others. I am really afraid about this scenario. I'm really afraid about future cyber wars. That's one of the favorite questions from journalists when they ask me. The question is, Eugene, what does wake you up at night? Now I say cyber weapons, cyber attacks. It's not yet reality, but many countries already announced that they have military cyber divisions. United States, many Western European countries, Japan, China, both Koreas, North and South Korea, India, they confirmed that they have military cyber divisions. I'm pretty sure Russia has it as well, but I said that the United States is the country to be first to announce. I'm afraid Russia, in many cases, it's a country to be last to announce. But I'm pretty sure that Russia has it as well. So, countries started to develop cyber malware, cyber weapons, to be prepared for cyber wars. But they have no idea about defense, and they understand there is no defense. So, my message is that plus to technologies, plus to Internet, Interpol, or United Nations, or European cooperation projects, there is a very, very high demand on the international cooperation against cyber weapons. Pretty similar that we have against nuclear weapons, to control development and distribution, to control nuclear materials at the same time. So this, well, I don't remember the name of this organization, I remember that in Russian only. The organization which controls, international organization which controls the nuclear weapons and nuclear materials. I think the same should be done against cyber weapons. The same we need to do to protect us against future internet wars, because it's too dangerous. And I'm afraid there will be huge damage in case of these attacks. So, I'm sorry for this slide, many words, because we didn't have enough of time. You know that I travel like crazy. Yesterday Munich, day before yesterday Cancun. Cancun is again. I didn't have enough of time to make some funny slides for this idea. So the idea is very simple. To introduce a special agency. This prototype name is a International Cybersecurity Agency, ICSA, or they call it a better name. The international organization, to get governments together to agree about control and non-distribution of cyber weapons. Don't use it, because in a cyber world, anything you do in a wrong way, it's a boomerang. The victim will learn, and the boomerang will get back to you. So now my message, and I use my voice, like the voice of IT security when I'm talking to governments. I use my voice to promote this idea, to fight with cyber threats. Of course, we need Internet Interpol, we need cooperation, we need cyber police, we need all this stuff. But the most important thing is cyber weapons, international cooperation against cyber weapons. If we don't have such organization, I'm afraid our kids will not be online pretty soon, because there will be no online world. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for speaking about such negative things, but you know, I'm paranoid, and I'm talking about funny stuff at the end of the day in the bar. And in my presentation, usually I say truth. Thank you.